Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. It's been a while actually. You know how life just kind of gets you and time just kind of slips away. Yeah, there was a lot going on, but that is a story for another time. Today we are here to talk about foundation and concealer, and I want to give a special thanks to Andrea, who commented this on one of my videos and gave me the inspiration to do this video. So shout out to you. I want to say starting out that I use Fenty foundation, and that is all that I use at the moment, but I am going to name the past foundations that I've used and the ones that I'd like to try. So first up in line is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. I wear this foundation in the shade 420, and I would give this foundation maybe an 8 out of 10. Now starting out with this was very hectic because when it first came out, first of all, 420 was sold out, like completely. It was nowhere to be found. But when I went to Sephora, they had matched me with 3 different foundations on 3 separate occasions. None of them worked. None of them fit. None of them were the correct shade for my face. I had one woman match me on my neck, and another one was putting it on my hand, and both of those times did not work. I believe they had originally matched me at like $4.50, and I mean it was outrageous. I'm pretty sure it was $4.50 because after going back multiple times, I think I ended up at $4.30, and I was wearing $4.30 for quite a while, but it was very red on my face and the undertones weren't right, and it really wasn't working for me. So I ended up going down the shade on my own without going to get matched again, and 420 worked for me. Overall, I'd give this foundation an 8 out of 10. I really do like how it sits into my face, but it is a bit drying, and I do have dry skin, so sometimes it's just a little too much for my face. But I only wear it now on special occasions, so yeah. Next in the lineup for foundations, we have the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation. Now this one I feel like was long awaited for everyone that did not like the matte foundation. This one did not really work out for me. I know that I said I have dry skin, but something about this one was a little too thick for me. I didn't like the texture of it, and it was kind of sitting on my face. I prefer foundations that kind of sink in a little bit more and that are a little bit more lightweight. Something about this was heavy. It was just too heavy for my face. So I'd give this one maybe a 6 out of 10. And I also had this one in the shade 420. The shade did match my face correctly, but it just wasn't a match for my skin. And the final product in the Fenty lineup is the Eaze Drop Skin Tint. I absolutely love this skin tint. It is amazing. 10 out of 10, 100% recommend. This would be a more daily foundation or base that I use. I don't wear makeup every day. Maybe 3 or 4 times a week. That's a little on the heavy side. It just depends on what I'm doing, but let's say 3 to 4 times a week. This is usually what I'm using, unless I have a special occasion. Then I'm using the matte Pro Filter foundation. This skin tint is lightweight, but it is buildable. I usually don't put too much on my face. I actually have it on right now, so it is really my go-to, and I love it. I would definitely recommend this one. I also get this one in the shade 20. In my last video, I reviewed these and I ended up keeping 20. I think that it's a perfect match for my face. It's not extremely hydrating and not really matte either. It's like right in the middle, which is exactly what I'm looking for, so it works perfectly for me. Also with the skin tint, a little goes a long way in my opinion, and it's lasted me a very long time as well, even though the bottle is kind of little. I use it often and it lasts pretty well. As far as past foundations, I've also used Maybelline Fit Me foundation and the Milani 2-in-1 foundation. Now the Maybelline foundation, it was a little dry. It wasn't really working for me, but I was using it at the time because I didn't know much about makeup. I unfortunately don't remember the color that I got it in, but I know that we're looking back on it, I know that it wasn't really working for me at the time. I wanted to say that it was mocha, but I went and looked at mocha online and it looked like it was a little too dark. So either I was wearing the wrong shade or that wasn't the one that I was wearing. For the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, I will give that one a 5 out of 10. As for the Milani 2-in-1 foundation, I was wearing it in the shade Golden Toffee, which was not the correct shade. It was also extremely orange and did not look well. Looking back on it, I mean, it looked okay, but it had the wrong undertones. It was also extremely thick and oily, and I didn't really like that. So I'd give that one maybe a 4 out of 10. Now on to concealers. I'm gonna start with the concealer that I am currently using, which is Tarte Shape Tape. As I said, I'm currently using it and I have it in the shade Tan Deep Sand. When I first tried this concealer, I didn't think it was going to blend into my skin the way that I wanted it to, but it actually ended up doing that. And I kind of get the hype behind it. It is a little pricey, but it has become one of my favorites for sure. I'd give this concealer a 9 out of 10. On top of that, I also thought that this color was going to be too light for me. I actually let someone in Ulta match me up with this shade instead of choosing it myself, and I thought that it was going to be a little too light, but I decided to try it anyways. I was a little skeptical, I'm not gonna lie, because when I put it on, it does look light at first, but it blends in beautifully. This concealer also works very, very well for my under eye. I have very dark circles under my eye, and although I can't erase them completely, this product works very well to kind of hide them, as you can see. Next up for concealers is Maybelline Fit Me. She looks a little rough, so I'm just gonna it doesn't matter. This this concealer was holding me down for the longest. I'm gonna give her a 10 out of 10 just for the hell of it. I had tried other concealers and nothing was comparing to it. I don't know what it was. It was just a really, really good match for my skin and my under eye area. And I really, really like the consistency of this one. It's not too thick and it's very creamy. On top of that, it's very, very cheap and easy to get. You can get it at Walmart, CVS, anywhere like that. And I wear this concealer in the shade Cafe. Although I don't use this one anymore for my everyday looks, I do still use it sometimes on my lips to, you know, give kind of a base if I'm going for a different lip look. And this one is definitely a runner-up to the Tarte Shape Tape, in my opinion. Like, as far as the ones that I use, this one definitely comes second for me. So I'd give this one a 10 out of 10. Bonus points for holding me down for years. Next is Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Concealer. Now this concealer, the texture really reminds me of the Hydrating foundation formula. That was one that didn't really work well for me, so this concealer did not work well for me. This concealer also was closer to, it's actually in the shade 430, so that is probably when I was wearing 430 in the matte foundation, and the undertones were wrong. It was very red, and was it red? No, it was very orange. It was very orange is what it was, and it was not working well for my skin tone, so this concealer did not work for me either. And I actually did not go back and get another one because I didn't like the texture of it. It was too thick and it didn't blend in well for me. I also had ended up getting this concealer in a shade that was closer to the foundation for some reason instead of getting a lighter shade, so that might also be why it didn't work for me as well. You may not be able to see it, but it's very, very thick, and I prefer more liquidy and creamy foundations. Concealers, I keep saying foundations, oh my gosh. Now on to the concealer that has been proclaimed as this holy grail for drugstore makeup and stuff like that. Miss LA Girl Pro Conceal. This one is, I do not like it. I don't like thick concealers. It's something about it that I don't even know if thick is, well, thick is the right word. Yes, thick is the right word. This concealer just did not work for me. I had got it in the shade Warm Honey for under my eyes, and I got Chestnut for contouring, which I believe I got this for contouring, I think. Did I? It was either contouring or lips, I'm sorry. I probably ended up getting it for contouring. If it didn't work out for me, I probably ended up using it on my lips. This did not work for my under eye area. The texture was just not, it just wasn't it wasn't working well with my skin. But shout out to everyone that is able to make it work. It just did not work for me. So I'd give these a 3 out of 10. Now I did have other shades in that concealer though, because it did work well on my lips for like almost like a liner when I was doing multiple lip looks and stuff like that, or trying out new ones. I think I had saw a video on TikTok, and that's when I went back and got more shades. So I got darker shades. I also got dark cocoa and mahogany, and I used these on my lips, and they worked very well for my lip looks. Well, that is all for my foundation and concealer video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a comment down below and please give the video a like. If there's any other videos you'd like to see or products you'd like me to cover, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye!